Can you trust the opposition party in general, especially in Singapore? Have you ever felt betrayed by them, or they even accuse you of being a spy or a mole, or their supporters ban you to become their Facebook friends? If you are the one, I know how you feel. Such things happen in the world. It's not uncommon in Singapore because the government has been doing this for decades to create an illusion for you to have some political parties or someone to share your sentiments so that no one could interfere what the government is doing, like increasing utility costs, increasing housing costs, controlling your money, and increasing other costs of living. Yes, they do that so that you can be in an illusion that you feel the opposition parties are behind you to fight against whatever nonsense the government is doing. As a matter of fact, the truth is the government is the one creating them to be its own control opposition parties to divert your attention so that whenever you are unhappy due to losing your job or any bad things you are in, you could air your grievances and complain whatever you want with the opposition parties. You think they will help you, but in the end of the day, they just couldn't do anything. And their best way to say to you is, we will have to do things in a legal and civilized way. Such idiotic statement is what the government wants, using them as gatekeepers to entertain you. It sounds like conspiracy, but in fact, it's a political strategy to fool the people, of which politicians have been using for a long time, not just in Singapore, but also throughout the world. That is why I always say politicians are great liars. That they could control your mind to make you stuck in a wormhole until you couldn't do anything but to become keyboard warriors or giving your money away to these scammers. The political strategy is to make you helpless so that you could continue to bite whatever bullets given to you and stabilize your mind to accept any policies, any tax, any cost increase, and other ridiculous nonsense from the government until you feel yourself being betrayed and you see no hope in the oppositions, that you would rather spoil your vote than to vote for anyone during the election. The goal is to make you feel yourself being betrayed so that you could silently lose your confidence in politics for the ruling party to continue its governance without disturbance, which control party to continue to fool you. There are about 10 opposition parties in Singapore, and I tell you what, most of them, and I mean more than half of them, are the control parties. It's nothing to do with egoisms, or they have different objectives that they cannot form a coalition, but because they are part of the political strategy with the government to deceive and control you by dividing the people. Thus, this is the reason why you see that opposition supporters are fragmented and many of them are smearing and slandering one another, especially pinpointing who the moles are. Wow, will they mark me as mole too? Dangerous. There are also some control oppositions that step onto the scene in an aggressive manner to literally oppose genuine targeted individuals to discredit them, causing a distortion among the supporters until no one could trust any opposition party. There are also some wanted to make you think they are fraudsters so that you won't vote for them or other genuine parties. All these are tricks of the government. If government are driven by money, don't you think that opposition parties are as well? The oppositions appears as though they are saying all the right things, fighting for the right cause, but what they will bring with them is a lot of disinformation that further paints an unbelievable narrative for you to follow blindly into a wormhole like what Piper did. If you are against the government, the best way is to get a Piper to delude you to keep you under control. There's a deception, a mayhem, or a confusion that causes you to hate others and others to you. You see people against you if you were going to talk about something bad against any opposition party, and they will mark you as a mole senselessly even your story is true. Far, far away, do you know that the government officials are laughing at all of this? Ironically, when you talk bad about the government, you will get a lot of support. This is the delusion set up by the government for you to be a blind, fragmented opposition supporter. And I also said earlier, the control opposition wants you to discredit them so that you can spread the word until no one is interested in politics but just only gossiping or complaining, especially on the Facebook. In reality, Singapore is filled with many false opposition parties and false heroes. Think about it, if you are with the government, you can get a lot of wealth. If one day your party gets popular, you could have a chance to be the control party so that you can get a lot of benefits and money from the government as long as you can keep your supporters under your control. If $1 million is not enough for you to be with the government, how about 2 million or 10 million? So that this way, the ruling party could continue its power. Come on man, a typical person where someone will know that if you can't go against someone, you'd rather be with them if you want to have some comfortable life, right? Unlike the 70s, the weapon in the modern society today is the money. Then explain to me why the MPs in the parliament are getting so much pay plus they are doing other businesses outside to get themselves rich. Even how genuine you are at first to set up an opposition party, sooner or later you'll be eventually bought over when you are very popular unless you are very rich in the beginning without asking for any donation. It's because especially in Singapore, the government is very rich and anytime they can monopolize and control everything, including the political arena. The control parties or the false heroes will often look like a protest movement that we are rallying around them and supporting them. Like, oh yes, there's no freedom of speech, no minimum wage, or whatever the case may be. But know this, many of them out there presented to us are not heroes, like really heroes, because they get compromised on the way in what they say or what they really cannot say. Many opposition's arguments and thoughts we are witnessing or observing are very much conjured up to distract us from actually focusing what is important. So what is really important? Okay, it's the fact that we are enslaved under the top people and the government is continually undermining our social fabric and continuously pushing on us any form of perversion on a daily continuous basis. Do you know they are even planning on implanting RFID chips on citizens? So this is what is important to us and what we need to fight for, to free ourselves from the oppression of the authority. However, we always get caught and dispute in their arguments of this one doing that and that one doing this, until we get ourselves separated but not united. All too often there will be disputes between two or more parties and we join one side or the other, just like watching a football game, or what you see in WWE, portraying themselves as heroes and villains just to get support.
Marine 3, Marine 4. Whoa! Right to the money, man!
The one who benefits the most will always be the paymaster. The political plan is to get the opposition parties to distract their supporters to benefit the ruling party. The opposition parties have secrets, and everyone has secrets too. But the point is they can't betray their secrets they know so that we can't really see what is really happening. To control and enslave the people, the government needs opposition parties to work with them together while at the same time allowing the world to see the nation being democratic. Behind the scene, you could be surprised to know that the oppositions could be very well connected with the government officials, and who knows whether they have been enjoying themselves together in some nightclubs. Vladimir Lenin said before, the best way to control the opposition is to lead it ourselves, of which is happening in Singapore. The government's objective is very simple, to get as many of you as possible among the unsatisfied citizens to spoil your votes so the ruling party will continue to do whatever they want, and the opposition could continue to enjoy whatever they are getting. So only the ordinary people are the ones suffering, but still rallying with the control oppositions all over again with a hope to change the government. That hope. So what should we do with this kind of entrapment? We cannot protest because many of us are brainwashed that protesting is bad and it's against the law, and we always want to do things in a civilized way because this is what we are taught in schools. Then what can we do? Well, play along with their game. Do not spoil your votes no matter what during the election, but instead vote for the opposition parties regardless they are controlled or not. Vote the opposition parties to distort the people inside the government. Make a mess of it. Spoiling vote is what the government and the control opposition want. Therefore, vote for any opposition parties not because we like them, but we want to mess up the system regardless you are supporters of any party or not. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is to get the people united to send a message to the government that all politicians are not to mess with us. But it's time for them to listen to us. Trust me. Trust me. Are always the two words that politicians always like to say without giving you any reason. Just trust me. So easy, huh? Well, anyway, I think my explanation and reason are good enough for you to trust me, right? Otherwise, just treat me as talking rubbish again. Bottom line, if you cannot change the system, mess up the system. If you happen to know of any parties or individuals who are the control ones, feel free to share them in the comment box and expose them. See ya.